like to call to order BZA November 6th meeting. Mr. Secretary, would you mind calling roll call for us?
All right. Ms. Childs. Here. Mr. Nieves.
Here.
Ms. Hand.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Gear.
Here.
And Mr. Perkle.
Here. Mr. Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
Thank you. All members have been given an opportunity to review the draft minutes. We've had two sets here. I'm going to start off with June 5th. If there are any changes requested in regards to the June 5th meeting. All those in favor say aye. 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 All those that oppose? The ayes have it, and minutes are approved for the June 5th. I'd like to repeat that for July the 10th meeting notes. Could I get any questions or comments that we need to do for the July 10th meeting? Okay. Do a meeting, I guess, so we'll go ahead and have a vote on those. All those in favor of the meeting minutes on July 10th, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those that oppose? Thank you. And I see that we have one applicant here, one case. Before we start, I'd just like to read aloud some of the board reasons of what we do and why we do it here. And this board is composed, of course, of 5 persons with 2 supernumeraries and is empowered by the Alabama State Legislature, but appointed by the City Council, and is charged with hearing petitions for relief from a literal and a strict application of the zoning code. Cases are heard in the order in which they are filed. Motions are made in a positive, and each case requires a positive vote of at least 4 members. A simple majority will not approve an action, and the burden of proof for variances and special exceptions rests with the petitioner. Variances granted shall lapse and be of no effect if, after the expiration of 1 year from the date of such approval, no construction pursuant to such variance has taken place, provided that the Board of Zoning Adjustment may, for good cause shown, specify a longer period of time in conjunction with its action to grant the variance. Any party aggrieved by any decision of this board may, within 15 days, file a written notice of appeal to the circuit court. So I appreciate you listening for that comments there, and I would like just to move on to the next item here, which any communications from the Vice Chair? I do not have any communications from the chair, except just want to wish Mr. Armstead well in his new role as a Ward 4 council member. Any old business here that we have? And I would say no, there's no old business. I think we're moved here on to new business here, which is case SV 25-11-01613 Oak Moor Drive. Applicant, please approach the podium. Please state your name and address and write that down for us, please.
My name is David Morrison. I own ALR Construction. My address is 1787 Indian Hills Road.
When you're ready, would you mind sharing with us your case and reason for a request for variance?
Yes, so the project is just a single mother who just went through a divorce. She bought this house. It's kind of restricted areas for her with the amount of children she has. She wants to close the carport in to just create her a personal, it's going to be her master bedroom. We're building under the existing roof line, not exceeding outside of the existing footprint itself. It's really just as simple as it gets.
Could you share with us what your variance reason would be, what your hardship is there?
The only thing I can share on her behalf is she's at work right now. She couldn't even be here because she is a single mother. It's just for her to have another bedroom for the house.
You have anything else that you would like to share before I open it up to the public?
I was just curious to know, we've been doing work, we've done over 60 jobs in Homewood, and I understand that the setbacks are not right. However, we're not going outside the roof, and I just want to make this very clear. We're not going outside of an existing footprint that's already there. We're not adding any impervious coverage at all. We're not changing the water flow of any way or any other things that could be a reason to throw this out, other than we're just going to be closing in an existing structure that's already there. That's all I have as our argument.
Well, I'd like to open it up for the public, but I do not see one out there in the audience, so we will
Can
close.
I'll go back there. Hey, give it to him, he's good.
We'll close that portion down and open up here for the board for questions. And before I do, did we have any letters of support or anything in regards to this?
We didn't have any public
Okay.
comment on the case.
Thank you.
That's right.
In regards to your construction methods and means, and I'm looking at it being a carport here, is there any requirements that you're gonna have to do for foundation to install wall or
Well, as you,
encroach?
go ahead.
To-
As you
to-
can see, the roof is already being supported by one structure, and that's all is really needed. The roof is we're not adding roof load to what's already there. So the only weight restrictions would be the actual, the floor of this space, which I can get an engineer to okay that if necessary.
It's more of in regards to if you're having to put a footing down for the wall that would exceed the outside limits
sir.
of this?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. Again, the roof is already being supported, so there's no, as I see this, and I can have an engineer confirm this, the foundation is already supporting what roof is there. Usually when you add footings, it's to support roof load, not really floor space. Does that make sense at all?
It does.
Yeah.
Do you know when the house was actually built, by the way?
Do not, sir.
Do not. Okay.
By the looks of it, I mean, I could guess maybe late 70s by that style home.
Can you tell us what the floor plan is like inside? You said she's putting her master bedroom there, so,
As much as I can remember, I remember there's two bedrooms on this end over here, which would be where it's the 150, which would be, was that south, I guess? The living room is just as you enter, and then the kitchen is right there, and that's the laundry room that kind of hooks around the carport right there. And that's just like a little family room in the back.
What would the final square footage of the master be? It's this side right here.
That carport's only like 14 foot by 20 foot, so it's actually quite small for a master bedroom. I mean, it's actually very small.
And what, it mentions that elsewhere would be more expensive, but did you look into building it somewhere else?
Well, if you go out and you add a foundation and a new roof line and all of that, that's additional cost. So building under an existing roof structure, you save tremendous cost there already.
But I mean, like, aside from costs, it's possible to build somewhere else on the property, right?
You could go out back, but then again, we may have a problem with the land coverage issue at that point too. And when we go out back, you have engineer fees that have to come into effect. Like this cost of construction would double in cost if we went off. Right next door to there, 609, we are building a 700 square foot addition on the back. We just got the foundation done. Again, this is a perfect example of how much that cost opposed to this. This project is under $50,000, and she gets a bathroom and a bedroom, where if I was to build it off the back, even that size, it's still gonna be 120 grand. It would double in cost. And to my knowledge, again, going back to all the jobs I have done, whether I was underneath the existing footprint, I didn't have to have a variance. And as long as I went straight up and didn't go out, we didn't have to have these issues. This has happened several times, actually, where we had setback issues, and I added a second floor, and that got passed without having a variance, because we were on the existing footprint itself.
In Homewood, because in Homewood, those situations come before this board, unless they're.
Raleigh Avenue is a perfect example where I didn't have to get any kind of approval, which, you know, what was set, 231 Southwood is right behind, not far from this house, right behind 124 South Point, where I added a second floor. We had a setback issue there, and we had a variance meeting with Mr. York. I think he attended that meeting.
Well, to note, you would have had to come before us to get that approved.
I can speak to Mr. York's case. So that was done without a permit, and it also went before the Planning Commission to receive approval after it was built. So in that case, it wasn't conforming, and it still did receive approval from the Planning Commission because it wasn't in neighborhood preservation district. So there were different rules than for this zoning district. So this zoning district is not by development plan, which that case was. So that had to go to Planning Commission,
Okay.
and it had to go to City Council. This one is in neighborhood preservation district. So the Board of Zoning hears cases for variances.
Can I ask you what might be a stupid question here? Okay. Closing in the carport, how is nonconformatory fall? I'm just trying to understand that rule of nonconformatory, because, and I'm just gonna throw something out, relate it to a kitchen remodel. It's under the same footprint. I'm not changing any of the house other than the interior layout of that. No variance meeting there necessary, correct? But when I close in an existing concrete, say patio, then I'm just trying to understand where the difference is.
I can speak to that as well. You're moving it from a covered carport, which is not heated and cooled living space,
Okay.
and you're changing it to living space. So that is when we look
Okay,
at the
all right,
conformity.
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And a kitchen remodel's the interior to the building. You're putting up an outside wall that already the house is non-conforming. That's what's happening. It's non-conforming right now, but when you add an exterior wall, that's
still
where the variance
non-conforming.
comes into. It's
Yeah.
not like a kitchen's an internal renovation.
Well, I was just trying to compare
Yeah.
something that was under
Yeah.
the roof that I had no
That's-
other way to explain it in that manner.
That's what the
Yeah.
issue is. The
Yeah.
house is non-conforming, and you're adding on to a non-conforming situation. That's all.
And we're here as a board, we look at the variance and the zoning codes here, so that's what we are adjusting and ruling against or ruling for.
Yeah,
So we would need to know what your definition of the reason for a variance, and there's rules of that we have to comply with. So that's why we're here, that's why we're asking questions, just to learn more information so we can have a vote on that and
Yeah.
move forward in a positive way.
and I wish she could be here and speak for herself. She says she could FaceTime. I didn't know if it was even allowed in this kind of setting. However, you know, it really boils down to a distressed mother who just got out of a broken marriage, just bought this house. She needs a bedroom for herself where she could get away from the kids. And that's just, and she doesn't have tons of money. Like, she's stretching, her parents are loaning her money to finish this project.
Could I read him how we have to determine hardships? So, we have to go by this standard of how we determine hardships and whether that's pertinent to the case or not. And it's Article 11 of the Administration and Review Procedures. And there's a note in Section B, variances 4B, and that notes personal or economic hardship cannot be factors considered in the determination of the hardship. And so these rules are what dictate our decision, just
Okay.
for context.
But, so if there was a crowd of people back here that was voting for her, that would weigh into this though, correct?
No.
Like, I mean, you said, you asked if there was letters of, these people. You don't think, okay, so there is no varying in decision-making based off of the collective group of the community?
Correct.
There, in such a way, there is not like, if there's people here, right, they are not voting. We are voting, but we are on behalf of currently, we're on behalf of our wards that we're voting. Each of us are representing a different ward.
Which are elected officials to support the collective group that you support, right?
We are hired.
Oh, you are?
appointed by the city
They're not
council.
elected.
Oh, okay.
They're appointed by the city
Okay.
council.
I was just asking questions again. I don't
No, these are
know the
great-
answers
these
to
are
these,
great
right?
questions,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, we can laugh about it, but like, I don't want to be embarrassed up here when I'm asking a
No,
question, you know?
I feel like you just have good humor.
Okay, yeah.
It's good jokes.
Well, I really want to help this lady out, you know, and, you know, that's what I'm here for. Like, you know, I ride the area, I've done several jobs in this area it's on the other side of the park, you know where this is. There's tons of carports closed. You ride around that area, there's houses everywhere that have carports closed. Whether they're in a setback zone or not, I don't know if that's the case there. I don't have the logistics of all of that. It's really unfortunate, though, if I have to go back with this lady who just bought this house a month ago, who I got to tell her, we can't close your carport in, you know? And I'm sure that she would pursue further action after that, I would hope, because, you know, I don't see how this, with it being a variance issue and a setback issue, I mean, I don't see why she shouldn't still, and this is just my personal opinion, because the carport it's still gonna be a carport, or it's gonna be a room, and it doesn't change the variance.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think what's hard to be on the board is a lot of times, me personally, I can't speak to everybody else, a lot of times personally, I empathize and I think, oh, I have kids too, and if I was in the same position, how would I feel? And a lot of times I can understand why people would want these requests, why it's a personal financial hardship, but being on the board, I still have to go by the standard to what this board has to follow. So, yes, I
So what would be a
understand.
legitimate hardship then?
A legitimate hardship sometimes in the past has been that the lot was a triangle and it's just impossible to build anywhere on the property.
So where are those listed at? Where, like, I mean, I feel like that's up for interpretation per case, right? Like, you gave me one example, right, of what that might look like, but then I give you 3 or 4, and the one that you gave me is, I don't see that, like,
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question.
yeah.
That depends on everybody who's voting. Like, we don't always agree. I don't know what they're gonna vote on. They don't know how I'm gonna vote.
Right.
We all make our decisions based on how we interpret these reviews and these procedures that we have to follow.
Once again, you have to share with us where your hardship is.
Yeah.
And currently, right now, we have heard that your hardship has to do with financial means. And there's not a hardship here that you've been able to share with us other than the financial side of things. And so we're ruling on what you present to us and how you present this case.
Mhm.
One option that I'm asking staff would be to move the wall in 2 foot 3. Now, it would make it very small,
Yeah.
but would that then become a conforming?
If they met the 10-foot side setback requirement, they wouldn't be here.
For the wall.
Yeah.
But would that create a hardship then? Because you'd have to get rid of the existing wall and the roof line.
That is not a code-based hardship. That's not the code preventing them from using the legal use of the land.
That's when it comes into like the payoff. Do you not have a bedroom, or do you have a bedroom that's small?
So you guys are proposing to leave the roof where it's at, shift the new wall in 2 foot 3. Now, the roof is still in conformity, you know, it's there, right? But you're saying the roof is there, but move the existing, that wall on that line, 2 foot or whatever. So is that what you're proposing?
We're not proposing.
Well, I mean-
I'm saying I was asking if
It's a
that
good
was
question.
an option that she wanted to pursue. I understand it makes it small. I'm
Yeah.
asking,
Would that,
find you an option in her, would that be an acceptable option?
So if, I'm not sure, so eaves can hang into the setback, 1 foot 18 inches. So if the eaves were closer than 10 feet by 18 inches, then they would be fine if they just put the wall at 10 feet. I don't know if the eaves,
I think what he's asking is that you don't change the roof, and the new wall that is gonna be built is actually inside the existing roof.
yeah,
So you would have more overhang on the outside of it.
right, and I'm talking about the overhang. So the overhang, if it was if it wasn't compliant, then you would be here still. But if, you put it at 10 feet and then the only overhang you have was that 18 inches, then we wouldn't be
So you
here
would
for
be to
variance.
move the roof in to meet that new conformatory, so the new addition would have to meet new guidelines, or the existing guidelines.
Yeah, the existing.
So
It would need to conform.
when this house was built, though, were those guidelines in place, do we know?
We're not sure when the house was built.
That's why I was asking. when the
Okay,
house was built.
well, obviously, they weren't, or else it didn't get built in the right position, right? Does that not fall on a hardship that she purchased a house that was built in a non-conformatory to begin with? Like, she shouldn't be held responsible for something that was built long before that she owned.
I think in this circumstance, it's existing non-conforming, and so when you change it, it's your responsibility to conform, and our responsibility to approve something that's conforming. So it's not, I don't know,
Okay.
You can also consider it maybe like on a different perspective too. She's not being penalized for having a carport that's non-conforming. She lives in the house, she doesn't have to tear down the carport, she doesn't have to rebuild it because she moved in, but because now she wants to change it, now she has to do it according to code. She's not living there, she's not being penalized for a non-conforming house, but to make the changes, yes, she has to.
Can
built to the
expand a
code.
non-conforming use. That's it.
and so the carport can remain
Mm.
in perpetuity.
Mhm.
It's existing non-conforming.
Mhm.
We are not making her take it down.
No, I understand that. I understand that. No, that's unfortunate. Man, I got a bald spot. I didn't. Well, I appreciate y'all's time, really. I do. It's a hard decision to make, I know.
I just want to clarify, you're asking for a variance of 2.3 feet. Is that accurate?
If that's what well, the eave is hanging over 18 inches probably, so actually the wall is probably not that far.
Okay.
So that's actually the roof. That's the roof layout. So the eave, it would probably be only about 1'3" is what we're needing.
Thank you for clarifying.
I'd like to make a motion to approve SV 251101.
Second.
All right. Ms. Childs,
Yes.
Mr. Nieves,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
No.
Ms. Hand,
No.
Mr. Perkel.
Yes. I would like to share with you that your motion has been denied. We appreciate your time here.
She has time to appeal this, you said, 15 days, is that correct?
Correct.
I'll inform her. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that leads us to any communications there from the staff? I do not see any communications there.
Oh, we got number 2, board administration review amendment existing.
You're accurate. Apologize for that. So So the board will be reviewing and looking at the existing board application fees. Has everyone had a chance to review the proposed application increase? Okay. With all those in favor of increasing the board fees, unless you would have something else
Well,
there?
we have are
A
you,
motion?
you're about to take, action. A motion would be in order, probably, yeah.
So can I get a motion here to review and approve?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to review and amend the existing board application fees.
That's submitted, so, yeah.
As submitted, thank you.
I'll second that motion.
All right. All right. Yeah, all right, Ms. Childs?
Yes.
Yes, yes? Okay. Mr. Nalves?
No.
Mr. Perkel?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Hand?
Yes.
Approved.
Next item of business here, we have the review and approval of the Board and Zoning Adjustment Meeting and Application Deadline Calendar. Has everyone had a chance to review the calendar?
Yes.
And has there been any comments or amendments there that y'all would propose?
Yes, the July 2nd meeting, I didn't know if we wanted to move that to the week after 4th of July, or just, no, I don't know what our options are there.
Can staff offer us an opportunity here to share with us?
Yeah, if you guys want to move it to the next week, that's fine. You can just say that in your motion and I'll change the calendar accordingly.
Yeah, if that change of date is amenable to the board, then that's fine. We need it for advertising purposes, so when applicants make a submission, they'll know what dates they have to submit them by. So that's why we need to firm up what those dates are. But if the board feels there's a potential conflict, I guess, near the Independence Day celebration, then we can certainly change that to the next week.
As you offered there, that date would be July the 9th,
Right. 1 week later, right.
1 week later.
Mhm.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2026 Board of Zoning Adjustments Meeting and Application Deadline Calendar with the change of the July meeting moved to July 9th.
All right, so moved in second. All right. Ms. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Nalves?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Hand?
Yes.
And Mr. Perkel?
Yes. Thank y'all for that. And then I guess we're going to here move to any communications there from staff that you might be able to help us out with.
Yeah,
changes
I have lots of communications. First, we'd like to welcome Miss Amy to our staff. Amy, is our acting city engineer currently. She was originally hired on as our senior civil engineer, and as our fearless leader, Mr. Smith has moved into the acting city manager position. Amy has filled the role as acting city engineer, so we're excited to have her. And then also, we are going to have our CAPSO training next month. I will send out an email, but based on the responses, December 6th is going to be the best date for the most people. So I will send out an email with the times, and of course, because everyone will be together to comply with, I think it's sunshine laws, we'll post it so everyone knows that we're all meeting and training. So, and I think that's all I have.
Welcome, Ms. Zari. We appreciate it. I don't have any other information here. Does anybody else like to?
Just for the record, you previously noted that Winslow Armstead has been elected to the city council, and his position as a supernumerary will be replaced, that the applications are currently being accepted, and the city council will be making an appointment once they select an individual to fill his role. But just to thank him for his service on this board, and to wish him well in his new role as city council.
And I would just like to end with just Ms. Sherry Williams and Mr. Cale, wish them the best in the new roles.
Yes, we do.
Thank
All right.
Meeting adjourned.